Hello everyone, this is Helios Raven. I tell you how I do it, even if you don't care. And today we're going to continue working on our making a Colossus video. We just finished attaching the little back piece here to our second bracket. And now we're going to add this little extra piece onto the side so it kind of has a more of a uniformal look. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to take the remaining bracket piece that was from the original model. We're going to cut away this side of the piece first, and then we're going to level out this side and shape it into a more appropriate bracket shape. And so to do this, we're going to need a Dremel. And let me just put on my mask because I'm in a very confined space, so there's going to be a lot of dust. Alrighty, and here we go. Okay, now we check to make sure that it goes across, and it does. Wonderful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the piece here and line it up with this guy right here to figure out what's the best shape in order to craft it. Okay, first thing we're going to have to do is mat out where the bottom piece is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take actually, where's my pen? Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, so now I got a little Sharpie here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the piece that we're going to be cutting, line it up, and mark where we're going to do the line up. Whoops. See, this is going to be a little bit of a difficult task because I'm trying to get it as perfectly even as possible. And I want them to sort of match. Okay. Alright. So now that we have our line, we're going to take the Dremel and cut it. Okay, now that that's shaped out, we check to make sure that it fits on proper, which it does. Okay. And the back piece stands a little bit taller than the front piece, but that's okay. It kind of, you know, as long as we get the illusion of the piece as a bracket, more of a bracket piece than some hobbled up mishmash thing that doesn't really matter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this piece here to try and thin out the back, because the back is very thick. There we go. I'll do the same thing as before. Okay, and then just Dremel off. Okay. Okay, and next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and flatten out the top here because it is a little uneven. So let's take care of that. Let's move him out of the way. Sorry. Okay. So now we got ourselves a nice piece here that's fairly similar to the one on this guy. And so then we're just going to now dry fit to make sure everything looks good. Okay, now we're going to get some green stuff, and I'll be right back since I don't think you want to see me mixing green stuff together. Okay, we're back. Now we're going to take this piece that we got and take a little bit of green stuff, line it along the top here. And place. And just checking height here. Okay, now that that is set and settled, we take this time while the green stuff is still moldable, and shape out the piece. Green. Okay. Now what we're doing is we're basically getting it so the pieces looks uniformal more than a bunch of pieces glued together, which granted stick together, but granted, because my green stuffing skills are not really that too strong that now, it's still probably gonna look a little mishposhed, but it'll look a little bit better than it did before. And so we're gonna sit here and we smooth out the green stuff, trying to make it nice and flat and a little bit more like this is the original intent of the model and not something that I created. And what I like to do again is I like to take a flat blade and press it to get a nice flat shape on one side. Okay, oops, sorry. Now we have this issue with the the thing broke on me, so it's a little bit tougher to manage. And so what I'm probably going to end up just doing is breaking, there we go, just break off the piece, shape it up, and fix it later. And when working with green stuff to prevent stuff from happening, like mishaps, the green stuff falling apart in your hands and such and popping out of place, is to always keep it as well wet as possible. It keeps it from sticking to other surfaces other than the one that you've already applied it to. So that's really the big key in these kinds of projects. And okay. Sorry, I keep forgetting where my view box is. Okay. And then now to try and fix this whole debacle, I'm going to smooth out that. Take a little bit of green stuff, tap it on the bottom there, and attach. Smooth out the edges. Okay. Now, since this is a bit of a tough task because I'm trying to fix two problems at once, what we're going to do instead is we're going to place this piece back on the Colossus gun. Make sure it's all shaped out properly. The green stuff on the bottom of the leg piece is making that a lot harder. Alrighty. Now we're just going to wait for that piece to dry, and then we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and it's all been dried, and I painted the whole thing up, so we're ready for the next part, which is basically gluing all this stuff together. Now, this is I have to be a little bit careful with, because if I don't do it right, the gun's not going to sit proper, and then this whole effort will be, you know, wasted. So we're going to have to first make sure that the gun is situated properly, which, yep, he's not. Give me 1 second here. What we got to do is, actually before we go into that, let's get the easy stuff out of the way first. First is the door top here, which I'm not actually going to glue these pieces on, because I'm more thinking I'm going to be practicing with making a custom door lid, so I'm actually just going to put those on for now, just to satisfy the look of the model right now, so it doesn't just look half finished. So we got the doors on top right there. Then I've been trying and working to try and get like the metal grate piece that goes right there to give this a little bit more dynamic, but then I sat there and decided the flamer looks fine without it there, so I decided to not bother trying to make a special little grate thing for around the heavy flamers. So I'm just going to take some glue and attach it. Okay, so now it's got a flamer on the front. And then take the little crane arm that we have here. And this really it's very self-explanatory assembly. There's nothing really too complex or complicated about it. And we're going to put it down like this, so it's at a tension status to get the next shell ready for firing. And like that. Then we've got for this side piece, I got a little oiled, like a little drum thing. I had to clip 2 bits of it to make it fit right, but no big deal. As long as it fits, it's all good. Okay. Give me 1 second, I have to check to make sure it's sitting properly. There we go. And then just so there we are. Then we're going to put in the door piece with the name of this Colossus, which is the Engager. For those who maybe just be first tuning into some of my videos here, the way I come up with the name of my Imperial tanks is they're the names of Star Destroyers from Star Wars. I found this list online of every Star Destroyer name that's ever been in, that came from the Star Wars cards or the books and everything like that, and that's how I come up with the names for my Star Wars guys. And just want a quick note, the Bombard actually does come with a shell, which most of the time, like they have it glued onto the into the crane hand here, but I'm thinking, for me, I'm pretty much going to probably keep it inside the actual sliding piece, because I rigged it so it slides open to indicate that I shot it. And so we're going to just keep it right in there so it's nice and safe. And now this is the tricky part, is I have to sit here and get the gun situated so that the pieces stand on it. The tricky part is getting it so the turret pieces sit, and oh, there we go. That was a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. So now what we do is, let me just make sure that the thing looks nice and even. Okay, so now it's gonna this on right here. Okay, that's the hardest part, is making sure that the gears on the bottom of the Colossus here actually stay attached to the bottom gears, so it actually looks feasible. And also keeping the thing even, which I did screw up a little bit of making this model. Like, these two track pieces are uneven, and I didn't really need to do this. Like, I could have actually positioned this a lot better where I didn't need to cut these into pieces, but I screwed up a lot. Like, I didn't plan this out as well as I should have, and I'm kind of paying the price for it. So that's one thing, is always make sure to plan ahead and such. Like, I'm missing the clip to this one, so it's gonna be a little bit tougher to get this thing to glue on. But so we're gonna give that a shot. Okay. And what I'm probably going to end up having to do is green stuff the gap between it. But there is the Colossus. It is finished. So let's widen out a little bit here so you can see it. And so for all those that may have... So all this basically was it was a two model kit scenario. It's the Bombard from Forge World mixed in with a Chimera. It's not perfect. Like I said, I've made a ton of mistakes, and you can tell there's a lot of remodeling that was done with it, but all in all, this is one of my first conversions where I created a model from I basically butchered two model kits to make one, and I'm very happy with how it came out for a first time on that one. But since there are a lot of issues with it, I'm going to end up probably, when I turn this Imperial Guard army into an Apocalypse-size cast, I'm probably going to buy another one so I can do it again and try and improve upon my design. But all in all, it's really neat. I kind of like it, and I hope that this video was helpful for some who are trying to make a Bombard, make a Colossus without just going with the Bombard trick. And what's neat about this trick is yeah, you have to buy another tank, but you get a Leman Russ out of it. So that's pretty neat. So I didn't have to end up going to buy a Leman Russ there was one less Leman Russ I had to buy for my forces. And so, sorry again that this took so long. It did take a lot longer than it should have, but thankfully now that we've got this, I've got this new 30-minute to 40-minute type of video going. Hopefully these videos will take less time. And so that's all for today. Until next time, this is Helios Raven, signing off.